Two women, both 68, same lab report, same vitamin D level. One earned hers outdoors, one earned hers from a capsule. Their numbers match. Their blood vessels do not. That gap is the part almost nobody explains. Sunlight gets treated like a delivery system for a single nutrient. Get the level up by whatever means, and you're covered. But the largest trial ever run on that idea gave nearly 26,000 adults over 50 a daily vitamin D pill for about 5 years, and it did not lower their risk of heart disease or cancer. Which leaves an uncomfortable question: if the level wasn't doing the work, what in sunlight was? Something is, and it's measurable. Put bare skin under ultraviolet light and blood pressure starts falling within the hour. No enzyme required. No rise in vitamin D at all. Your skin has been storing a compound that light itself pries open and it goes straight into your bloodstream, and that compound has a name. What it does to your arteries explains something the vitamin D story never could, and it is only half of what the sun is doing to you. Nitrate. The same molecule you get from beets and leafy greens, and your skin keeps a reserve of it just beneath the surface, sitting inert until light of a specific wavelength arrives. Ultraviolet A does the job. It breaks those molecules apart photochemically. No enzyme, no cellular decision. The light lands, the bond splits, and free nitric oxide is released. The same gas your arteries use to tell their own muscular walls to relax. 24 healthy volunteers had their skin exposed to UVA, and their blood confirmed it. Circulating nitrate fell. Nitrite rose. Forearm blood flow went up. Blood pressure came down. Not from warmth, because skin and core temperature were accounted for. Not from vitamin D, because those levels never moved. The effect did not even require the enzyme your body normally needs to make this gas. The light was doing the work directly, which reframes something your own chart may already show. Blood pressure tends to run lower in summer than in winter, and that seasonal gap widens with age into the 70s. The number your doctor writes down in July is often not the number that same person produces in January. So the sun really does behave like a drug. It has a dose, a target tissue, and an effect measurable within the hour. And that is where this explanation runs out. Nitric oxide survives seconds. The skin's reserve is finite. It gets spent, then refilled. Whatever the mechanism gives you by afternoon, it is largely given back by evening, and an afternoon of relaxed arteries adds years to nobody's life. Yet the gap between people who live in the sun and people who avoid it is not measured in afternoons. It is measured in decades. 29,500 Swedish women enrolled around 1990 between 25 and 64 years old, then followed for 2 decades while researchers tracked the one variable most studies ignore: their sun habits. The women who avoided the sun died earlier. Cardiovascular death was higher among them, and so was death from causes that were neither cancer nor heart disease. The comparison the authors drew is the one people remember. Among the women who never smoked, those who avoided the sun had a life expectancy in the range of the smokers who got the most sun. Read that carefully because it is easy to overread. This was an observational study. It cannot prove sunlight caused anything. People who spend time outdoors are, by definition, people who are able to spend time outdoors, are more mobile, often healthier already. Some of that gap is the light. Some of it is just what a life that includes going outside looks like. But the finding pointed somewhere obvious, and medicine followed it. If sun avoiders die sooner, and sun avoiders have low vitamin D, then raise vitamin D. so it was tested properly. Nearly 26,000 adults, 2,000 international units a day, about 5 years, placebo-controlled. Nothing. Pooled with the other trials, more than 80,000 people, still nothing for heart attack, stroke, cardiovascular death, or death from any cause. And that is not a failed experiment, it is an answer, and it may be the most useful thing in this episode. Your vitamin D level was never the active ingredient, it is a receipt. It records how much time you spent under the sky and how much of your life was lived in a body that could get there. Printing a bigger number on the receipt does not buy back what the receipt was recording. So what was it recording? Step outside on a clear morning and the light reaching your eyes measures somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000 lux. Step back into a comfortable, well-lit living room and it measures 100 to 500. That is a factor of 50, sometimes 200, and you cannot feel any of it because your visual system is built to hide it from you. Your pupil narrows, your retina adapts, the room reads as bright. But vision is not the only thing measuring that light. A separate population of cells in your retina has almost nothing to do with seeing. They carry a different pigment, they respond most strongly to the blue heavy light of open sky, and they do not report images, they report quantity. They send a running total to a small cluster of neurons at the base of your brain, the master clock for the rest of your body. That clock does more than decide when you feel sleepy. It sets the nightly release of melatonin. It drives the daily rise and fall of your blood pressure, your core temperature, your cortisol, your alertness, and much of how your body handles glucose. So when researchers measured the light older adults actually received, the numbers were sobering. Average morning illuminance, around 466 lux in summer, 65 in winter. Time spent above 1,000 lux, 46 minutes in summer, 3 minutes in winter. 3 minutes for the system that decides what time it is inside your body. Indoor life does not register with that clock as bad weather. It registers as endless overcast dusk, never dark enough to be night, never bright enough to be day. And the signal degrades slowly across years, which is exactly why almost nobody notices it happening. There is one more piece, and it is the one that makes this specifically a problem after 50. It has nothing to do with how much time you spend outside. Two things happen to the eye. The pupil narrows and stays narrow, and the lens slowly yellows, and yellow filters blue, precisely the light those clock cells are tuned to. The same porch and the same walk deliver a weaker signal at 70 than at 40, and nothing looks wrong because vision compensates. The clock goes underfed year after year by a body quietly turning down its own light. One more piece of evidence: nearly 89,000 adults, average age 62, wore light sensors for a week. Over the next 8 years, those with the brightest nights carried roughly 15 to 34% higher risk of death from any cause than those with the darkest. Darker days pointed the same way. Observational again. Illness keeps people in dim rooms too, but it fits. And the whole thing reorganizes. The vitamin D receipt, the lower blood pressure in July, the nitric oxide leaving your skin. 3 views of one fact. Sunlight is not a nutrient you accumulate. It is a signal with a schedule. The dose is not just how much light you get, but how sharply your bright day differs from your dark night. A pill has no time of day, so front-load it. Outdoor morning light, even under clouds, beats any indoor room, and going outside beats sitting behind glass. A dim evening and a dark bedroom are part of the dose, not the absence of it. and favor regularity over intensity. A short exposure most mornings beats one long weekend in the sun. Respect the cost. Ultraviolet light causes skin cancer, and the Swedish study was itself a melanoma cohort. Light in your eyes and a burn on your skin are not the same act. You never need the burn. None of this is a cure or a guarantee, and if you take blood pressure medication or have an eye condition, raise it with your doctor first. What it restores is a signal your body has read since before it could read anything at all.